So, very happy to be here today, and I'm very happy to share with you a story that is not only how we built with the advertising a brand, but also is a story of a long relation and how you can build with your agency and through the work that you do together, a long-term story. We've been working with an agency that is McCann, actually, that you will see later, long time, and we've been working through the whole building of the brand ourselves. And what we will see today is actually from where we were at the beginning, many years ago, until where we are today. So from where we started. Actually, we started from looking at what are the factors that make a brand successful. And we identified three main things. The first one is that each successful brand has a truth, a very important truth behind. Second one, that each brand plays a meaningful role in the life of the people, of their consumers. And the third one is that each brand tells a story. So we said, how? What do we start from again? Step one was look for a powerful truth that could kick off the creative, the lateral thinking of the agency and of the people in the company itself to find a solution for the business need that we had at the time. And also, we wanted to have a meaningful role in people's life. This would activate business, and this is where we started. 19 years ago, times were kind of very difficult. And I have to say that in the relation between agency and corporate, in finding new important things, it's very important that the company itself is able to be very sincere with ourselves, has to have the intellectual honesty and to find a rational picture of what the situation is. And at the time, I have to say, we had a CMO who was quite straightforward. Nick Hatton in 1997 say, we are viewed as a commodity with no aspiration. We are emotionally bankrupt. That was an incredibly strong message. And I have to say that then we have to start thinking about how to get out of the emotional bankruptcy. And this was actually the first point, the starting point. The total lack of emotional connection between the company and our consumer, were then the truth where we start from, finding a new solution for us. So actually, what we did, besides looking at this truth, was really to look around and look for another important element. And we start looking at the people. So referring to before, to big data, to numbers, another important element of big successful campaign is really to be able to look at what consumers say, what consumers do especially. And what we found out is that consumption behavior at that time was completely changing. We were going from an era of the bigger is nicer, most showing off is nicer, from owning designer clothing, big cars, fancy dresses, whatever was very show-off, from going to what is really important to the people, what is really insightful, what does create a link that is more deep inside yourself. So from clothing to being satisfied, from luxury hotel to good family life. And this is an important truth for us. And also, another important thing is to look around, what the other competitors do. And I have to say that our competitors at the time, were really putting a lot on the very concrete benefits. And this gave us the space to work more on the emotional space and create a differentiating factor for us. And then we had this important strategic idea. It was to create a connection between the consumption and the things that matter. So, putting together a very functional attitude that is pay with a card to something that is very emotional. Everything you can pay for things that matters. And this is how, 19 years ago, the concept of priceless came out. And from where we start building all our last 20 years almost campaign. And what is priceless? I will read it for you. Priceless is a moment and experience that transcend things, as those are what we remember and define our lives. Prices come in both big and small ways, as a magical moment about what truly matters to you. So again, we start connecting people with some emotions. And I will share with you now the first advertising that we made with this concept, and then the evolution a couple of years later, that was really going from this emotional bankruptcy that we have to something that was deeply emotional.
Two tickets, $28.
With 2 tickets to India inside, $3,500. Caravan to the Blue City, $64.
And here I think that we could see visible how we were able in all this time to create this emotional connection. What is important is also to understand how, after 15 years of working on the same direction, again, consumer behavior is changing, how we could continue with the changing of timing, more brands, more visibility, more attention to advertising, clutter market with different way of consumption. So again, we started looking at what consumers are doing. And what came up is that some consumption were changing a lot. And to give you an idea, restaurants sales grew 8% in the last 4 years versus retail that was growing 2%. And travel, flight tickets, had a peak of over the time, even if the average cost per ticket was lowering. This meant that the people was really starting looking at a different way about what they want and how to spend their money. Vacations overall and dining out were increasing dramatically, 27% increase from the 2015 to 2019. This means that this was becoming the stronger categories overall. And we started looking also an analysis about how this trend, especially on millennials and young people, was growing. And actually, travel and leisure growth was growing much faster and higher in consumption than normal households or retail goods that we have. So experiences were actually becoming, and is actually becoming, the real focal point and how the people wants to spend their money and live, actually, the free time. So we started creating differentiation from the brand, and we went from observing, celebrating priceless experience, as you have seen in the advertising that we had, to creating and enabling priceless experience. And this was actually the soul of the evolution of our brand. But really, what does differentiation mean at the end? And again, we wanted to create a strong link between consumers and something that had a meaning with them. So we're looking at how to transform a brand that the people that do not buy anymore into a brand, buy into the brand, but they don't buy anymore in a product. You want to know that the brand has a point of view, not only different products, and what the brand actually mean, not only what they make in terms of. So the brand is taking a different role in the market, and a different role toward their role versus the consumers. And then we changed our positioning, and we became, as main objective that we have is actually to connect the people to priceless possibility. That is not very easy as an objective, but this is something that we really wanted to achieve. And how we started, another starting point in this case was really to look at the passion of the people. Start analyzing if they want to live experience, which is the best experience that they want to live. And then if we look passions, there are several, but we could connect in a more limited way. And we start looking at music, cinema, sports, travel is another part that is really important, art, theater, whatever is connected with our consumer passions. And out of that, we decided to build, and I have to say that the new CMO, that is Raja Manar, had this vision about how to extremely link together and create connection with this passion through platform. Platform that is made out of 4 main pillars that for me represents the what and the how. The what is really the way that you live, priceless city, priceless causes, priceless specials, how we can feel you're experiencing life with some benefits that MasterCard can provide, while priceless surprise is the how. Just a brief description about what they are, if they're not aware. Priceless City is the platform that was built around the world. As of today, we have over 40 cities that are priceless. This means that in each of these cities, we created a full customer journey for our consumers that is based mainly on access and experience. You can go from little things like going to the London Eye without just jumping the queue, or having a restaurant meal with the chef at his table, or access in a closing time Harrods. So really allow you to live the experiences in a just personal way. And this is available as of today in 43 cities and for 77 countries in the world. So 77 countries that people that have MasterCard can live in different cities. And we have cities as New York, Rome, Milano, London, Rio, Miami, whatever you can think as also iconic city. Second platform that I think is very important is more everyday, because then at the end we have also to connect not only with price and possibility in terms of big moment, but also what you can do on an everyday is we build this price and special platform. Price and special are platforms that are much more concrete. They offer benefits, mainly offers and loyalty. So it gives the possibility to access the discount in your preferred merchant, or to access a voucher, an open entry, or a gadget when you go there. And I think that this really builds the daily attachment that you have with your cards, and actually the daily benefits that you can build with that. And then Priceless Causes. Priceless Causes is another platform that links a lot with the new thinking of the consumer. Is a platform that do allow to do good. Actually, to do good is becoming, and probably if you, as agency and company as well, read the study and how the behavior is changing, how it's important for us that we are so privileged in this world to really be able with little things to help others that are less lucky than us. And this has become an important platform that we are developing in a different way. And I'm kind of proud of saying that in Central Eastern Europe, the division that I lead, we have been doing an activity, we work a program at divisional level, and this allows us to support in Rwanda a project of school feeding, where actually we provide school meals to kids that otherwise they wouldn't go to school because they don't have food. And we can support 40,000 kids for 3 years as of now. And we also support them and their family because we buy the food over there. So we do create a very positive circle, and we can do it through our consumers and directly. And then the how, the Price and Surprise platform. Price and Surprise is extremely, I would say, a dream. It's the way to make the people happy, to create a different connection. We like, as MasterCard, to get opportunities to surprise the people, or to allow you to surprise your loved one, and to create this further engagement. The idea is always use your MasterCard, because there is always a possibility that you might be surprised. And I want to introduce the surprise with the surprise that we made in Romania a couple of months ago that I hope you enjoy. I was so happy. I have to tell you the truth, before shooting where we created the story, it was all real, nothing was organized. I was kind of really afraid about his reaction when he was told that the room wasn't there. So I was said, I don't know what happened if he get extremely upset. It was kind of, okay, so we could go on. So how all this actually did translate into business results, and getting back to the Professor Dimitri, yes, that it was before, it's true. ROI is important. ROI is important. It's important for us. I think it's important for every business. And I think that the brand does contribute a lot to the business results. First of all, brand. How this impacted the brand overall. I can tell you that we started out of the most valuable brand classification, Millward Brown, we were something like 87 in 2009, and we went number 6 in 2011, then we came number 18 in 2014. We're now between number 18 and 20 in the last 2 years. So the brand itself, brand awareness, brand recognition, really grew a lot. Another important thing that I think is worth to be mentioned is how creating a different way of getting connection to the people and advertising actually does make to be talked about. And in social media conversation, price and surprises overall, and I can tell you we make price and surprises at worldwide level on an average of 1 per country every year about this big size. And there is a lot of going on in terms of media conversation regarding the price and surprise in itself, and this does contribute as well to build the brand. In terms of business results, he was mentioning how the brand does really support the rest, the one that the CEO then is looking. Out of the latest, I would say, 13, 15 years, revenue have tripled, Our transaction and volumes have tripled as well, and the value of the stock of our shares has increased in these last 13 years about 800%. That is a lot. I cannot say it's only the benefit of the marketing at the brand, but surely I have to say that talking with business people, they do really recognize how getting today to a customer and trying to sign a deal being as MasterCard is much more different from where it was 10 years ago when MasterCard was not so known, and how the brand awareness makes easy the path of all the business activity is pretty recognized. And so I just want to close with a quote of our CMO that I have to say is the inspirer of the latest development of the platform and the inspirer also of the Price Surprise. That 17 years ago we created a power platform called Priceless, where we celebrated the priceless moments in people's lives. Today we're evolving Priceless to create priceless experience and connecting people to their passions. Thank you very much. Any question? Straightforward. Yes, please.
Hi.
Hi.
How do you become a priceless city?
How do you become a priceless city? It has to reflect some minimum requirements in terms of visibility, in terms of, first of all, I have to, okay, start again. It has to be a city that has a kind of connection and corridors from around other countries. So we also use it because what I didn't mention, and I think it's important, is that all these platforms are not only marketing platforms, they do strictly connect with the business. So in the case of priceless cities, to increase the cross-border transactions, so transaction from one country to another, we identify who are cities that are extremely visited from other countries. That's why cities as London or Moscow or Rome are taken into consideration. So touristic city as a main thing. For two reasons. First, it brings transactions. Second, it brings interest from the other countries. Then in terms of content, you have to be able to guarantee a certain number of experiences that you can offer around the world. So to be able to negotiate it, to render it available to all the 77 countries that have access to it, and to change it continuously. So in terms of internal requirements, we have to have resources in terms of people and budget to make it happen, and to respect some of these requirements.